All right, good morning, everybody. Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. We have a word that's talked about quite a bit, and we see a lot of people wearing T-shirts with this word on it, and with the concept of it. And yet today we don't see as much of it as we'd like to see. And that word, that virtue that came up for us today was kindness. So let's read the virtue description first, and then we'll talk about it a little bit and how it resonates with us today and how we're going to focus on it. Kindness is caring that springs from compassion. We have genuine concern for the welfare of others. We are warm, friendly, and ready to help. We listen for the needs beneath the words. We give tender attention in simple ways that bring others happiness. Kindness is the daily bread of love. When we feel angry, we resist the temptation to be cruel. We are good stewards of the earth and all living things. When we fill our own cup, our kindness naturally overflows to others. So what a great description, and certainly, kindness is one of those virtues that we appreciate especially when we're in some place of need, or when there's something that we need attention that we're not able to do something for. It certainly is great when there are others around us that have compassion for us and empathy and give the attention to us that we need. And so as we think about that, my focus is, what do I need to do to demonstrate this quality or this virtue of kindness in a greater way? And I think for me, just based on some experiences in the last even 24 hours, I want to be more careful about how I act, react, respond when things aren't going the way that I'd hoped that they would go, or when others are placing, or what seems to me to be a placing of blame on me for something that didn't go the way that we wanted it to go. And so, this is a situation where, when we're feeling angry, we know that that's not how we want to feel. And so resisting that temptation to be cruel is not only important for the peacefulness of the individuals involved, but it's also important for the peacefulness of ourselves, especially. And our peace, the peace that we feel for the way we are responding and the way that we're doing things, is based a lot of times on whether we're acting out in a kind way or not. And so, how do we develop that virtue of kindness? Well, it begins by being kind to ourselves in the words and the feelings that we have, the self-talk that we have, the thoughts that we have about ourselves and about who we are, and our worthiness and our dignity. And this is an area that for many we struggle with that. Maybe our childhood, we were brought up in some manner or given messages in some ways that created core beliefs within us that are difficult to give up. And so today, my thought about kindness is to give tender attention to our own needs, to give acknowledgments of where we're doing well, to look at ourselves as worthy individuals, to have a concern for how we feel, because how we feel is often determined by the thoughts that we're having. So looking at the thoughts that we're thinking, and are they thoughts that have come up before? Are they automatic kind of things that happen when certain situations come up? And are they thoughts that are distorted? In other words, are we focusing maybe on something that that is only the bad side, and we're not focusing on the good? That's a major one for many people, and including myself. And so, or are we personalizing things that don't need to be personalized? Or are we generalizing situations that are not, that don't factually fit that? So there's a lot of work to do in that area. But for us to be kind to others, it's extremely important that we're kind to ourselves and that we take the time to recognize when we are talking to ourselves or thinking about ourselves in a negative way. So when we fill our own cup, our kindness naturally overflows to others. I love that line there, and I appreciate the idea that we need to continue to talk and think in ways that we're looking for the positive aspects of any situation and ourselves especially. So that's how I'm focusing on this concept of kindness today. And how do we teach our kids about this? How do we develop this virtue of kindness? We want to be careful with our kids that, number one, that we're not saying things to them that create self-talk, that they begin to take on to themselves and believe about themselves because others around them have put it on them. We want to be careful that the words that they use, that we hear them use about themselves, that we catch them and give them another opportunity to restate and to think about, the idea that they have full worthiness and are full of potential of being the very best that they can be, and not comparing themselves to others, and not overgeneralizing situations or focusing only on the bad things that are happening or having regrets from the past. When we can help our kids to do those things and to have a self-talk that's more positive and that's headed towards and directed towards those things that they desire, we're going to find that they're going to be able to show and demonstrate more kindness to themselves and to others. So that's how I'm thinking about kindness today. I know it's a little bit different than what we've talked about before, but it's one that's particularly resonates and is needed by me today, and maybe you can feel some resonance with it also. So until next time, keep focusing on the virtues, all of the virtues, but today we're going to focus on kindness and the 4 C's of successful families, and that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. Until next time.